Lately, my laundry detergent bottles have been running out really fast. I suspect my roommates have been using it secretly behind my back. And Lucas is my prime suspect. Lucas is a sports student. He's tall and strong. Because of his training, he often needs to change and wash his clothes in the summer. Also, lately Lucas has been acting like a dog, always sniffing around me. Dude, you smell so good. What perfume are you wearing? I took a sniff at myself. I'm not wearing any. Maybe it's the smell of the laundry detergent. But he just wouldn't believe it. Every time, he'd bury his big head into me and take a big whiff. Ever since then, my laundry detergent has been disappearing at a mysterious rate. One day, when all my roommates were out, I decided to get to the bottom of it. First, I went around sniffing the clothes they had hanging by their beds. The towel the eldest roommate hung up, it wasn't that. The shirt the second roommate was drying, it wasn't that either. And Lucas's underwear that was out to dry. This familiar smell? I pressed my nose closer and sniffed harder. Yep, it must be him who's been stealing my detergent. Just then, Lucas opened the door and came back. While still sniffing his underwear to confirm, I asked excitedly, Lucas, is it you? Have you been stealing my laundry detergent? Finally, I caught you red-handed. However, Lucas was even more excited than me. His eyes were practically glowing like a wolf's. He slammed the door shut and locked it. Come on, bro, just say it. I've been waiting for you for ages. The next second, he strode towards me, grabbed my head, and pushed it down. Come on. I was completely confused. Come on for what? But Lucas was surprisingly strong, and he pushed my head down without any explanation. I pushed him away with all my might. Lucas, what the hell is wrong with you? Lucas looked puzzled. What? Do you only like the black ones? After saying that, he snatched the underwear from my hand. Wait, I'll change into it right now. What can I do? I'm your daddy after all. Lucas said this with a hint of affection in his voice. Then it dawned on me. Lucas must have thought I liked sniffing his underwear. I froze in place, my face burning. Now that I think about it, my actions were really intimate. I tried to come up with an excuse. I was just trying to check if you stole my laundry detergent, and the only thing hanging on your bed railing was your freshly washed underwear. But when I saw Lucas's expression that seemed to say, no need to explain, I get it, I was a bit stunned. Then I remembered he said he was my dad. I got annoyed, grabbed his collar and pulled it down, and said to him fiercely, Lucas, open your eyes. I'm the one who's your dad. And pull up your pants for your dad. However, Lucas looked even more astonished after hearing this. Benjamin, do you actually like it when people call you dad? Next, Lucas lowered his head and leaned close to my ear. Dad. His voice was a bit husky. Although I do like acting like a dad to my bros, this just felt so off. After Lucas called me that, he added, I'll only say it to you, don't go telling anyone else. About 2 months after moving into the dorm, I started to think Lucas's thinking was a bit off. That's when I finally understood that saying. He's a good-looking guy, but he just doesn't have much sense. One night, I was in the middle of using the toilet when suddenly Lucas's spooky voice came from outside the door. This is a magical button. If you press it, our dorm will make a strange sound. My curiosity was piqued, and I couldn't help but ask him through the door, what kind of sound? Then there was a snap, and everything went dark before my eyes. At that moment, a little boy squatting on the toilet, at his most vulnerable, suddenly lost all light. I was so scared that I shouted. Lucas was laughing like crazy outside. Be good, call me Dad, and I'll let you out. It dawned on me that the strange sound was me. Fuming, I gritted my teeth and threatened him. You scoundrel! Open the door right now, or I'll beat you up when I get out. When I finally got out, I pinned him down on the bed and started punching. Lucas was a sports guy, with a muscular build, but he cooperatively let me ride him. As I hit him, he made some rather suggestive noises. Both me and my other 2 roommates blushed. Are all sports students this wild? Finally, I grabbed Lucas by the hair and pushed his face into the pillow. Stop yelling. Then he stopped. From that day on, I realized my new roommate wasn't exactly an up guy. So, you want to figure out who used your laundry detergent? Hehe, I thought you wanted a taste of I quickly covered Lucas's mouth. Shut up, you idiot. After Lucas pulled up his pants, I asked him seriously again. So, why'd you steal my laundry detergent? Does Lucas even know how hard it is for me to carry that huge, heavy bottle up the stairs every time? Lucas made a sound and pointed at my hand, indicating for me to let go. He looked innocent, his big puppy dog eyes looking at me with a watery gaze. Didn't you say last time that the nice smell on you was from your laundry detergent, and I could try it if I didn't believe you? Seeing his innocent expression, I started to doubt myself. Seems like I really did say that, 'cause Lucas was always saying I smelled good and was way too clingy to me. When he hugged me like an octopus and sniffed me from head to toe, I finally lost my temper. I pushed his head, which seemed to be stuck to me, with all my might. I've told you so many times it's the smell of the laundry detergent. Try it yourself if you don't believe me. Then he reluctantly let go of me and said, "Okay, I'll give it a try." The memories came flooding back. Damn it, I really did tell him to use it. But does Lucas have to use it so much? I used to go through 1 bottle of laundry detergent every 2 months. But now, holy cow, he's emptied 2 bottles in just 1 month. And the worst part is, while he's secretly using my laundry detergent, he still keeps pestering me to smell me. Thinking of this, I put on a stern face again. Lucas continued to explain cautiously, "Benjamin, you know I'm a sports student. I change my clothes frequently." As he said this, his big head hung down, as if he was still feeling wrong. I was still angry and couldn't help glaring at him. Lucas coaxed again, "Otherwise, I'll buy you some. That actually sounds okay." Just as I was about to agree, I heard Lucas ask tentatively, "Are you angry because I forced you? How about you press me down and let me have a taste of yours?" After he said that, without waiting for my reply, he grabbed my hand and put it on his head. His tone carried a faint hint of excitement. "You press me hard too. Come on." Then he knelt down on one knee and started to reach for my belt. I felt the touch of Lucas's short hair in my palm. It was a bit ticklish. I felt a chill on my leg. I watched as that handsome face was about to get close to me. I quickly grabbed Lucas's hair and pulled it back. With my other hand, I pulled up my pants and said to him through gritted teeth, "No need. Remember to buy me some laundry detergent." He looked up at me, a hint of disappointment in his eyes. "All right, I'll get it for you tomorrow." The next day, Lucas carried a large box of laundry detergent up the stairs. Looking at his muscular arms and steady steps, I thought to myself, athletes really are something else. There's no doubt about Lucas' arm strength. I experienced it firsthand on the first day. He's the only PE major in our dorm. Me and the other 2 guys are both science and engineering majors. On the first night we moved into the dorm, Lucas came out in just a pair of shorts after taking a shower. Under the light, his muscle lines were like exquisitely carved artworks, rising and falling beneath his skin. And I'm gay, with a weakness for big pecs. I stared straight at the firm and full muscles on Lucas' chest and, as if possessed, asked, "Dude, can I touch?" Lucas smiled generously and directly took my hand and placed it on his chest muscle. Beneath my hand was warm and taut skin, with a bit of elasticity and smoothness. I couldn't help but give it a squeeze. Lucas' ears turned red. We weren't familiar with each other then, and he still had some shyness and restraint. His puppy-like eyes widened as he looked at me. "Hey, dude, you." I felt a bit awkward too. God, why did my hand move on its own? "Sorry, I couldn't resist," I said and gave his chest a couple more pats. Felt so good. I never thought that one day the dream of touching such firm pecs would be fulfilled by Lucas. The other 2 roommates in the dorm also gathered around and said, "Dude, you've trained so hard. Your arm strength must be insane." Lucas seemed to be enjoying the compliments. He looked at me and suddenly picked me up. Before I could react, my feet were already off the ground. I was startled, so I put my arms around Lucas's neck and looked at him in confusion. Lucas was holding me steadily. It's not a big deal, just the normal strength of an adult man. I was completely puzzled. Come on, dude, if you want to show off, why pick me up? I was really confused, but I took the opportunity to touch his pecs a few more times. This is why, even after sharing a room with Lucas for so long, I still haven't killed this nutcase. And I really got to know Lucas well because of a cockroach. Lucas is a big guy from the north. Even though he's 185 centimeters tall, he's as timid as a chicken in front of an American cockroach. One day in the dorm, he literally catapulted out of his bed. He frantically burrowed into my arms, shouting in panic, "Ah, a cockroach!" The other 2 guys in the dorm were laughing at how scared he looked. only I noticed his frightened expression. I had a really good friend from the north, so I knew that people from the north were really terrified of those things. So I shielded Lucas behind me, just like protecting a little chick. Then I picked up a slipper and went for it. At that moment when it was over, Lucas looked at me as if I were his savior. If the cockroach was like a monster to him, then I was his Ultraman. I really enjoyed that look in his eyes. It always made me feel a surge of fatherly love. I patted his face and said, "Don't be afraid. Next time you see one, just call me Dad, and I'll take care of it." After that, I took the opportunity to pinch his chest. After Lucas bought his own laundry detergent, my dorm life became harmonious again. One night, Lucas let out another panicked shout. "Ah, there's a cockroach. Dad!" I reacted instinctively. "Dad's here!" Lying on my stomach beside his bedside, I stuck my butt out and searched. "Where is it?" Suddenly, Lucas flipped me over, covered me with a quilt, and pressed himself on top of me. My vision went dark. He was also shouting loudly, "The cockroach is right here." Lucas pinned me down on the bedboard like an immovable mountain. He had just taken a shower and wasn't wearing a shirt. I felt surrounded by his warm body, and my nostrils were filled with the scent of male hormones. This little rascal, he's learned to deceive me. "Chew, let me go." However, Lucas was still joking around and fooling with me. "Big cockroach, are you scared?" During the horseplay, I felt Lucas's chest muscles rubbing against my face. A strange sensation of softness intertwined with firmness hit me. My teeth itched. Actually, on the first day, what I really wanted to ask wasn't, "Bro, can I touch?" but, "Bro, can I bite?" He came to me on his own. I opened my mouth and lunged at him viciously. Lucas froze, his body stiff. He didn't even resist. Worried about crushing me, he even thoughtfully did a plank above me. He let me do what I wanted, only his body temperature gradually rose and his breathing grew heavier. No wonder athletes are so tough. He managed to hold the plank for 10 minutes without collapsing. Only after I was satisfied did I let go. I looked up at Lucas. "Still want to mess with your old man?" His whole body was burning hot. A thin layer of sweat had broken out on his forehead, and his dark eyes were looking at me wetly at the moment. There was also a patch of wetness on his chest and a few bite marks. By the time Oliver and Jack came back from their late-night snack, I was already back in my own bed, and Lucas had gone to the bathroom to take a shower again. I smacked my lips, finally got a taste. Felt even better than it looked. It was amazing. I wasn't worried at all that Lucas would find my behavior strange, because Lucas's jokes can go way over the top, and he probably doesn't have a clue when it comes to love. Before, the most popular girl in our department chased Lucas for a month. She brought him water and cheered him on when he was playing badminton, but he didn't even pay her any attention. The girl and her 3 friends cornered him and asked in a sweet voice, "I've been showing my interest for a month. Why haven't you come after me yet?" Lucas just gave her a cold look and said, "You like me? What's that got to do with me?" Since then, he became famous overnight. That was so harsh. I just couldn't associate such words with that goofy Lucas. Later, as this kind of thing happened more often, I got used to it. He'd act all cool outside the dorm, but when he came back, he'd sniff and say, "Dude, you smell good." He was kind of special to me, you know. Gradually, rumors started to spread on campus. The most handsome and pretentious freshman in the School of Physical Education doesn't like girls. This rumor was confirmed after an incident between him and me. After being like a dad to Lucas for half a year, he suddenly invited me to watch him play a game. He's a badminton major. When he jumps up and smashes the ball, his muscular body forms a really dynamic arc. Every time Lucas wins a game, he'd smile at me from afar. He'd lift his shirt to wipe the sweat while facing me. Sweat dripped down his pectoral muscles and disappeared into the grooves of his abs. It made my heart itch. Finally, when he won, he tried to do a slide tackle towards me. I slid on my knees too, opening my arms to wait for him. However, Lucas couldn't stop in time. He stumbled as he slid on his knees. The next second, his handsome face plunged straight into my arms. At that moment, the whole arena fell silent. Coincidentally, someone recorded this video, which became the top post of our CP thread. After that, I became a bit popular along with him. Even now, Lucas often goes to the CP website to find funny posts and show them to me. "Benjamin, look at what they're saying about us. It's hilarious." He said this while not wearing a shirt again. I stared at his pectoral muscles and agreed. Actually, how much they guessed Lucas liked me might be somewhat false. But looking into his eyes is the real deal. Although I really don't want to admit it, I like Lucas, this dork, his pectoral muscles, especially when I'm dreaming. The first time I dreamed of him, I was pinned down by Lucas, and right in front of me were his jiggling pectoral muscles. My eyes were glazed over, and I looked up and bit down hard. But before I could even get a taste, I woke up from the dream. I was kind of irritated. Sometimes when I went to wash my underwear in the morning, I'd run into Lucas, who was also doing the same. I pretended to ask casually, "What nice dream did you have?" He stared at me, as if still lost in the dream, his eyes full of aggression, and he playfully leaned closer to me. "Wanna know? Call me Dad, and I'll think about it." I told him to piss off. Ever since he got bitten and swollen by me last time, Lucas has been wearing a top after taking a shower in the dorm recently. So there's one less beautiful sight in the dorm from then on. After he takes a shower, he still acts like a total dork in front of me from time to time. I'd laugh and curse at him, but in my heart, I was thinking about how to take his top off. On Friday, there were no classes, and my friend Oliver from the north came to the school to hang out with me. "Miss me?" Oliver put his arm around me. My face was against his warm body, and I reached out to push him away. The feel was definitely not as good as Lucas's. Suddenly, I felt a strong gaze. I turned my head, and what a coincidence! I saw Lucas's expressionless face. His gaze was fixed intently on my hand placed on Oliver's chest. The movement I originally intended to push away paused and turned into a caress. Lucas' face darkened. I secretly chuckled in my heart and pulled Oliver away. Oliver pushed me away with a look of disgust. "What are you doing? I don't have pectoral muscles, and we're both guys." I pushed him away with a fake smile. "Don't worry, I'm not into scrawny guys. Come on, bro. I'll take you to have something good to eat and build you up." When I returned to the dormitory at night, I happened to run into Lucas, who had just taken a shower. The bathroom door opened and a cloud of steam rushed towards me. I looked over and was stunned. He wasn't wearing a shirt. When Lucas came out bare-chested, water was still dripping from his hair. The eldest and the second eldest went to book an e-sports room for an all-nighter. There are only the two of us in the dorm today. I quipped, "Alright, it's a father-son showdown tonight." Saying that, I started packing my things to take a shower. During that time, I stole countless glances at Lucas with my peripheral vision. My mouth felt itchy and I kept swallowing saliva. I suspected this guy was trying to seduce me. At night, Lucas indeed climbed onto my bed. He put his arm around me and his head nuzzled into my back skillfully. "Benjamin, let me have a sniff. He always says I smell nice, but I can't smell anything special." He holds me like I'm an action figure, and we're pressed together through a thin layer of clothes, tightly. I turn around to face him. "I'll let you smell me. Will you let me bite?" Lucas doesn't answer and just presses my face towards him. The touch on my face is firm and springy. His hand on the back of my head doesn't let go. "Benjamin, who was that guy during the day?" Before I can answer, he asks again. "Talk. Whose is nicer to touch? His or mine?" What's in front of me is the beautiful sight I've longed for countless times in my dreams. I swallow hard and answer, "Just a friend. Yours is nicer." Lucas seems satisfied and strokes my head. I open my mouth and lean in, gently grinding with my teeth, and my hands start to get frisky. Lucas's breathing starts to get heavier. The hand he has on my waist gets tighter and hotter. After about 10 minutes, I stop with satisfaction. Lucas was breathing heavily and was about to head to the bathroom again. I grabbed him and stopped him from going. Disgusted by my saliva? Or think I'm a perv? I'm not. His voice was incredibly hoarse. "I'm a perv too. I really like you." My heart suddenly skipped a beat. "The smell on you." As Lucas spoke, he leaned in with his scorching breath. I didn't push him away. In the heat of the moment, I don't know who crossed the line first. On Saturday during the day, he dragged me to watch Spider-Man. When the three Spider-Men appeared together, the cinema erupted. Lucas was extremely excited too. I don't know who started it first. "Spider-Man. I love you. Spider-Man. I love you," echoed throughout the cinema. I looked at Lucas's excited profile. Well, they say men remain boys at heart until the end. On the way back to school, I never expected to run into Jack. my high school roommate. I started commuting to school in my sophomore year of high school because of that asshole roommate, Jack. I was young and naive back then, and I came out on the first day in the new dorm. After I came out, Jack looked at me funny. When I was sleeping, I always felt like there was a gaze on me. Finally, one day, Jack climbed onto my bed. "Don't you like men? What's wrong with having some fun with me?" When I came to my senses, I kicked him right off. "You want to play with your dad? You don't deserve it." After that, I applied to commute to school and change classes. When I went back to the dorm to pack my things for the last time, I saw a t-shirt of mine beside Jack's bed. The t-shirt was all wrinkled, with several dirty marks on it, just like him. It was disgusting. Now, when Jack saw me, his expression was a mix of surprise and fanaticism. With him staring at me, that uncomfortable feeling washed over me again. "Benjamin!" Jack ran towards me, trying to touch me. I frowned and quickly hid behind Lucas. Jack clearly saw the big guy in front of me, and his expression turned gloomy. "Is this your new boyfriend? You were like a virtuous maiden in high school, not even letting me touch you. What's going on now?" Before he could finish his words, Lucas kicked him flying. I was shocked, so fierce. Lucas, with a fierce expression, picked up Jack, who looked terrified on the ground, patted his face and said, "Benjamin is my dad, and I'm your dad. If you dare to mention your grandpa again, watch out or I'll beat you so bad you can't take care of yourself." I wanted to laugh at this idiot again, but the way Lucas kicked that guy was really full of power. On the way back, he tried to say something several times but held back. I didn't say a word and just walked with my head down. With Lucas's brain, I could figure out what he was thinking even with my feet. It wasn't until we got back to the dorm that he finally spoke up. "You like guys?" I didn't even look up and just walked straight into the dorm. "What? You got a problem with that?" I thought that if he dared to have an opinion, I'd put a live American cockroach on his bed. Then he, Lucas, would have to come crawling back to me. Imagining him crying and begging me, I almost burst out laughing. However, halfway through my amusement, Lucas grabbed me. The next second, the door closed, everything spun around, and he pinned me against the door. There was Lucas's hand braced against the door beside me, and our noses were almost touching. In this position, felt like I was trapped in his embrace. Lucas buried his head in my shoulder, and his breath hit my collarbone. It was a bit ticklish. "Was that ugly guy your ex-boyfriend today? Your taste used to be really bad. Really bad taste indeed." One day, such a jealous comment came out of this silly guy's mouth. I looked at the fluffy head on my shoulder and wanted to laugh. Then I deliberately asked, "What's it to you?" "Oh," he sounded annoyed. After a while, he asked me again, "So what kind of guys do you like?" Lucas looked up, his puppy-like eyes shining as he stared at me. "How about me?" After asking, he continued to coax, "Be my boyfriend. You can bite me if you want." I looked up at him and opened my mouth. "Okay." It was Lucas who initiated it. As I buried my head and indulged, my mind couldn't help wandering. It was his fault. It started when he took my hand and placed it on his muscles. He said I smelled good and sniffed me from head to toe. He was scared to death of cockroaches. With 3 roommates around, he'd only huddle into my arms. He knew I liked muscles and would walk around shirtless in front of me every day. Clearly, he was super aloof outside, but in front of me, he became such an annoying guy. I looked up at him, yet in his blazing eyes, I saw a fanatical version of myself. So I'd been looking at him with this kind of gaze all along, just like he'd always looked at me that way. I was smitten by his looks. I got used to having a goofy son, like Lucas, around. But after being his dad for so long, my fatherly love took a different turn. When Lucas turned the tables, I didn't resist. I was kissed by him until my whole body went limp. The air was thick with dampness and heat. The ceiling was swaying. The scene from the dream was replaying. I looked up and lunged at it fiercely. This time, the dream didn't end. After taking a shower, I was still feeling the lingering effects of the wildness. I called Lucas a dog, but he pointed at the marks I'd bitten out and gave a smug smile. "Great! Now we don't have reproductive isolation." That made me burst out laughing. I knew Lucas was a total dork, and I liked him,